Right, so it's finally March, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about everything you can be doing to your lawn this month now that the lawn care season is about to kick off. So the first thing you might want to consider doing is actually aerating your lawn, and it can be done in a couple of different ways. You can use a solid tine aerator like this, or just a simple garden fork, or you can actually use a hollow tine aerator too. Both of these tools are going to do a very similar job, and you're going to get similar benefits from both of them. So obviously the solid tine aerator is just going to punch basic holes into your soil. They're going to be smaller as well, depending on the size of the tines that you use. And obviously a hollow tine aerator is going to take a core out of the soil, which just means that this form of aeration is going to be slightly more beneficial than using the solid tines. You can see that obviously with the solid tines, you've got a much smaller hole and it hasn't decompacted the soil at all, whereas with the hollow tines, it's obviously taking that core out, it's left a much bigger hole, you get much more airflow, and it's in the name. Aeration is all about getting air down into your soil. You want to have that balance between the amount of water you've got and the amount of air you've got. The problem we have over winter is that we get so much rainfall and that water doesn't really drain very well through the soil. We don't have a lot of evaporation, which means we end up with quite wet soils, and the more rain we have, the more air it's going to squeeze out your lawn. It's about getting the air down there. It's going to increase that microbial activity. It's really healthy for the plants. It gives the roots an additional place to go as well, which is always beneficial to actually having a really strong, solid sward. And it's kind of like investing now in the soil to have the long-term benefits of a great lawn later. So if you don't do a process like this, you're not going to die. Your lawn, for the most part, isn't going to die, but what it will mean is it'll give you a head start when it comes to the new lawn care season in spring. The next thing you can consider now that it's March is actually getting on and giving your lawn its first feed of the year. Obviously, we've not got the best of temperatures just yet. It's quite cold today at time of recording. However, for the next couple of weeks where I am now, there's not going to be any frosts and the temperatures are going to be getting up to 10, 13 degrees every day. So the grass is going to be in an active stage of growth, which means we can actually get on, we can feed the lawn without doing too much damage to the plant. And just ignore the massive purple fella in the back over there. It's just one of the dog's toys, which he's decided to leave out in the wet weather over the past couple of days. But talking about feeds, it's also time to consider some of the other products that we can apply to our lawns as well. Things like liquid iron. Now, I've spoken about liquid iron in a previous video a few weeks back, and we're still in the window where it is going to be beneficial to put iron down. The main aim of iron is to, well, firstly turn your grass green. It's going to enhance that pigment, but the main aim is to, first of all, to kill any moss that you have in your space, and also to actually help you combat that disease that you might have because of a lot of the wet weather. When we say it kills the moss, it doesn't necessarily kill that moss plant. What it will do is it'll dry out the plant, it'll turn it black, which you'll visibly see after, you know, a week or two, even less, depending on the application that you put down. And it's also going to dry out those spores as well, which is going to prevent it from spreading itself. And that's the same kettle of fish when it comes to your disease as well. The disease is going to spread through spores, and that iron is going to dehydrate the plant. It's going to sap some of the moisture out. And when you think of the aeration process where that's going to dry out your soil, and then actually getting on with some iron, which is then going to, you know, physically dry out the plant, it's a good combination at this time of year to get your lawn ready for when the temperatures really do increase by the end of the month. The next thing you can consider doing as well is actually getting out and cutting your lawn. Now, this space is sitting in the sun for most of the day, which is very different to obviously the lawns in the garden, which are only just starting to see the first bit of sunlight now, and even so, it's only on part of the lawn. But just be careful when it comes to cutting your space. What you don't want to do is cut it too short. You don't want to scalp it down too much. You literally want to be nicking the very tops off the grass plant, and there's no set rule either. There's no kind of cut it every week, cut it every couple of weeks. You've just got to sort of react to the grass, and that's the same rule of thumb for any time of year really, is when you see that the grass is physically grown, then it is time to get on and give the space a cut, because you've got to remember that grass blade is a store of energy, and if we take off too much of the plant, we're going to cause a little bit of stress. Temperatures are going to be increasing over this next month. They're quite mild for the next 2 weeks at time of recording, so it's certainly time to start sort of like manicuring the lawn, taking the tips off, encouraging that growth of the plant, and in turn it's going to result in a much healthier sward. And the last thing you might want to consider doing is actually getting on and scarifying your lawn. However, this one comes with a word of caution. With it being March, you know, we go through quite a fluctuation of temperatures. Yeah, it's going to be mild for the next couple of weeks, but there's no reason why we might not end up having a frost towards the last couple of weeks of March, because it's that time of year where we can't get a bit of both. We get a bit of spring, we get a bit of winter. The weather really doesn't know what to do sometimes. You know, you never know, we might get a fairly decent March and the conditions might be fairly mild throughout, but there's no guarantees. When it comes to scarifying, it's quite an aggressive process. You'll be ripping thatch out your lawn, you're going to be thinning the sward out, and if the temperatures aren't up to that right sort of level, then your lawn's really not going to be bouncing back as well as it probably will if you wait until kind of April time, and certainly into May as well. However, there is a time and a place where you might want to do a process like this. For example, if you get on your lawn today with some liquid iron and actually, you know, turn that moss black and dehydrate that moss out, then in about a couple of weeks time you might want to get on and just lightly scarify the very surface of your lawn to rip out those dead moss plants. Moss doesn't have roots, so you don't need to be digging into the soil when it comes to raking it out. So you might want to use something like this, or even like more the power rake attachments that you can get to remove that moss, but just be kind of as gentle as you can at this time of year. It's about kind of nurturing that plant now out of the winter into the spring, giving it a feed, seeing how it reacts, then certainly go for it, but just tread with caution. So there you go, that's all you really need to be doing to your lawn now that it's March. But depending on where your lawn is, the condition that it's in at the moment will entirely determine what you actually get on and do first, whether that's aeration, whether it's applying some iron, whether it is giving it a scarify to just remove a little bit of that moss because you put an iron application down a couple of weeks ago, or whether that's just you starting to get out and cut your grass. There is not one size fits all with lawn care. As you've seen from today's video, you can't do one thing to one lawn and expect to have the same results on a different lawn. Soils, grass variety, the amount of sunlight, there's loads of factors that go into it, even drainage too. Regardless how your lawn's looking at the moment, it is going to be looking decent if you follow some very basic, simple lawn care steps over the next couple of months. And if you'd like to stick around on this channel and sort of see how you can go from having a fairly naff lawn to something that looks half decent like this isn't the best lawn in the world, but it's far from the worst, then consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like the video if you've enjoyed it or if you found it useful, and yeah, feel free to follow along with these kind of lawn care journeys that we're going to be having on this channel over the next 6 to 7 months. And yeah, finally, thanks for watching.